Chuck and Tom at the Cigar Shop, and I wrote it. I wrote it in the thing there, but when I first did the review for the Cigar Shop on Cigar Pals, the cast was mostly different except for Tom.
Correct.
And since then, things have changed around here, and people come, people go, and a lot of things have happened. And I tell you about that in the story, but some of the specifics. But I wanted to catch up and do another video, or do a little video, and then kind of do a new post about this shop because lots changed and they've grown a lot, and we want to talk about the changes and get something new up there and fresh because they're, it's always changing. Anyhow, Chuck, Tom, you guys can give your last names because I forget.
Chuck Rubino.
Chuck Rubino.
Tom Plunkard.
What is it?
Plunkard.
Plunkard. I just looked that up yesterday. But you guys want to tell us a little bit about what's been going on, how the things have changed, Tom, especially you've been here since the beginning, so we don't have to get into any real specifics about things that have changed anybody, any personalities, but just a little bit about how you've seen it grow and what you think about what's happening.
Yeah, it started off with three of us. One of the original guys left pretty early. Skitch, Rich Galinsky, had to leave for medical reasons. Chuck was willing to come on board and help me out, which has been a godsend because if I didn't have a partner, we wouldn't be here today.
Wouldn't have worked out to you.
No, would not have.
And you even, from what I've seen, I mean, I'm not here very often, but keeping somebody in here all the time, it's almost a full-time job in itself because it's hard, when you don't have a budget to hire help that you can pay well enough that they're going to stick around. So
well, we're fortunate enough to find some help that the gentleman works for Cigars, so that helps us out.
I might be
quite
freelancing down here sometime,
Glad to have you.
So what do you see? I mean, we were talking earlier about how first time I came in here and walked in that humidor, there was only a handful of selections in there, and now it's pretty much stays full most of the time, and it's looking like a regular cigar shop. And so
it's finally coming around after 3 years. I mean, because we didn't have much to start with.
Yeah.
And now the business is sustaining itself, and it's doing good. I mean, we have yet to put money in our pockets, but we're okay with that as long as we're selling cigars and people are happy.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I always said it was your business model, because you didn't want to go in debt for $100,000 worth of cigars that you didn't even know if anybody would buy. I mean, especially in Ellwood City, you didn't know what your clientele was going to be like, how much they were going to buy. And I was talking to you a little while ago about how you're getting to figure out what your price point is, what people can sustain, what the town can sustain as far as $20, $30 cigars probably aren't going to do too good, but you can go up to that $10 or so.
We get up to 13. That seems to be people's comfort point here in Ellwood City. Once in a while, we maybe get ones a little bit more expensive than that. If there's someone who wants it and they're coming in here a lot, we'll do that. And we're lucky. We have our client base is really building, and that helps out a lot. And that's why the humidor looks like it does, because we have the people coming in that want those cigars. So.
Then it's funny, after 3 years, people still don't know we're here.
Yep.
They'll
They'll come in and look and say, "Wow, when did you guys open up?" Oh, 3 years ago. Yeah. And they don't believe you. They laugh and like, "Oh yeah, sure." And like, no, really, it was 3 years. Because I came in here just as a customer. That's how I started out in here. And like
I literally was in town when you opened up, and I was waiting for you guys to open up because you still had I don't know if you hadn't. I'd heard about you, and it's like you were just opening up.
Yes.
And so that was really cool. You guys out of here?
Yeah, we're leaving.
Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you
Don't
guys.
believe everything they tell you.
Wait a minute.
I'll tell you what, that Pastor Dan, he's a
as
great
opposed
guy.
to believing everything you guys do.
Consider the source, that's what Mom used to tell me.
See you
Thank
later,
you, guys.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's another thing, you know, you didn't have no motorcycle club coming in here when we.
Absolutely not.
No.
They're a godsend.
Yep.
Literally.
Literally.
But,
It's the weekly crowd on Thursday. You can definitely count on them just about every Thursday to be here. So.
I like that. That's really cool for me because, you know, I hang out with them outside of here. I'm not a son, but I hang out with several of their members, and you know, so I come around and I get to hang out with them in here, smoking cigars. And I didn't realize that, you know, last week when they invited me over, they didn't tell me. Dave invited me, and I just thought it'd be him and Paul, you know. And I got back here, and the whole club, or the whole chapter's there, and it's like, oh, it's a club meeting. So, and tonight I was kind of, and I wanted to do this thing tonight with them because I saw last week that I was, you know, had an opportunity. I'll edit anything, I don't know anything. But last week I saw that I should have done a better video, you know. But fortunately, last week I got all the motorcycles out there.
Yes.
So I have that video that I will inject into this so that I got video of motorcycles. Because it's kind of like, wait a minute, I think I'll flip here with the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
You can only film your bike from so many angles.
Yeah. But they're all good.
Yeah.
Anyhow, back to this interview. So, Chuck, when did you come on board and a little bit about that?
Started in right about September, fully on in October. Was when we officially made a new LLC and got everything started, you know, under Tom and I. And that's when we started doing some different things in the humidor with some different lines. Looked at things that, you know, were sitting obviously for a while. That why do we have these? Did they sell? Does somebody want them? You know, that type of thing. And between Tom and I, we just started kind of branching out a little bit. And it's what we have now, you know, from all that. As I said, I was just a customer before. I knew what I liked, you know, but it's a lot different when now you're trying to buy for everybody who walks in the door to have something in there that they would like. And I think we have that now. I think there's something in there for everybody. It may not be the brand that you smoke, but you'll find something in there that
Even
that
I
you
come
like.
in here and I can find several things in there that I like, you know. And
One gentleman wants strictly Fuente, but you know we can't
Yeah.
satisfy one person. We gotta.
who are we looking at? Yeah, I can see that. I'm not, you know, I don't go off on a rabbit trail here.
But
So,
we're trying to branch out a little bit too. We're doing some events, you know,
Right.
some things like that. We're actually doing, the Suns are having the big gathering up at Conneaut, where there's going to possibly be several thousand bikers up there for a weekend, and
Right.
they invited us to come up, you know, with cigars for that event. And we have a golf outing that we're doing down in Elizabeth, PA, actually, for the Croatian clubs. They're having their big national golf outing there, and there's a person that comes in here who's part of that, and he was talking to them, told them about the place, and they said that they'd be interested in coming. And, you know, I said, Tom, what do you think? He said, why not? You know,
I see that around the country. I get invited to these golf events. I don't golf, but I smoke cigars.
yeah. I mean, golfing and cigars pretty much go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
Even if you don't smoke a cigar, if you're on the golf course, you'll smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
That's just,
Well, any events coming up? Oh,
The
you got the Remnant.
the Remnant Sons
Yeah, and the
bike rally that's coming up.
So that's a redundant question.
Mm,
and we also do some events with some distilleries. We have them come in and do tasting events. We just had one. It was back in February now. Doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, but it was right around St. Patrick's Day. And we have in the works with a local winery up in Newcastle that's interested in doing the same thing, coming down, selling bottles, doing tastings. And we might try to implement a food truck in with that. You know, with coming off the pandemic, people are looking for things to do, and that really it helps the community because it gives them something to do. Even if they don't smoke a cigar, they'll come in, they'll check the place out, and they may know somebody that smokes a cigar and say, hey, I was at a cigar shop right on Main Street in Ellwood. And again, the person will be like, I didn't know there was a cigar shop in Ellwood. So, every little thing like that you do really helps, get the name out.
Speaking of pandemic, how did you guys come through the pandemic? How did that work for you? You might not want to get into specifics because you or me were talking about that the other day.
Correct.
But you were able to stay open for the biggest part, kind of.
Well, actually, it was before Chuck came on board.
Yeah.
My partner just had an illness that he was trying to recover from, and I was basically here on my own. So it was local cigar shop down in Pittsburgh was able to help me out with stock.
Yeah.
We had to keep it to a minimum because it was just it was tough. It was buying cigars as we were selling them, and a couple local guys came in every night and helped us out. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't. It'd have been tough making it through.
A lot of places I saw around the country did the walk out and deliver the cigars to the
Do like the curbside.
coming by, and a lot of places nobody was allowed inside, and that was a lot of their business was to the curbside business, But and it's interesting that a lot of the shops that I ran into around the country, and I asked this question all over the place because I'm curious, and I'm sure my listeners are. They want to know how the cigar shops did survive, and some of them got very inventive, but they figured out, and most of them, I know two shops that were brand new when COVID hit. They were within months of opening, and all of a sudden COVID hits and nobody's allowed to open their doors and stuff, And they both, two of the ones I know about, both had lounges. They had nice lounges that they had just made, and like you can't open it. And they did a lot of the curbside thing with people coming in, And so it was a struggle, but people survived,
Yes.
And that's kind of the American spirit, We tend to be survivors, no matter what else is going on in this country. We tend to be survivors,
And this town really pulled together for all the businesses.
Did they?
Including here. The bars that had to close down, they were only allowed to sell to go. People who normally wouldn't buy food to go, they were supporting the businesses.
Really?
The core people that were in here were coming in, knowing that, hey, if we don't come in here and buy some cigars, it might not be here,
Right.
For when this is all over and done with. So,
Right.
Ellwood City is kind of unique in that way. They pull together for people when there's a problem and something like that happens. And the bikers are a big part of that too with a lot of that stuff. They really come out and support and help.
Those guys are great guys. They're a great fellowship. And it's kind of interesting because the cigar world itself is a brotherhood unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I've been around motorcycle groups all my life, and it used to be like that. It's not so much as it used to be. Those guys are the real deal, but it's not like it used to be. But this, no matter where I go, it's the same. The fellowship of the leaf, the brotherhood of the leaf, and as long as we're smoking cigars, we're on an even field. We're all the same, and almost. I've hardly ever, even when I've said something, or somebody else said something that might not have been the right thing to say to that particular individual because of some political leaning or whatever, it's almost like it just, whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's what I've found everywhere too.
Yeah.
And everybody that comes in, whether you've been here one time or 1,000 times, everybody treats you, hey, come on in, sit down, welcome, how are you, who are you, what's your name,
Yeah.
It's a unique situation.
I try and I tell my readers all the time, so don't just walk in and get a cigar and walk out the door. Stop. There's a lounge there. There's a fellowship going on, and it's real important to stop, enjoy what's going on, And one thing you'll learn about cigars, you'll get to meet people you never would have known. amazingly, you know, like I said, it's a leveling field, you know, so a plumber can be sitting here with a Fortune 500 CEO smoking a cigar and just like known each other all their life.
And carrying on a conversation about everything.
Yep.
Yep.
That's where it is. So anything else you guys want my listeners to know about? Am I in the picture? Okay. Thanks.
I think you've hit everything pretty well.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
If they're ever in Ellwood City, stop in.
Yeah.
Doors are always open, even on Sunday. You can sit out front by yourself and smoke a cigar.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Right.
You gotta bring your own cigar.
Gotta bring it right. And that is the one nice thing here too. We do have outside areas too. So some people, when it's nice, you don't want to sit inside. You want to enjoy the weather. We have out front and we have the patio in the back.
Yeah. I'm getting to experience both ends of that too, man.
Yeah, that's
I'm
kind of a
liking
unique.
You
A
know,
lot of places don't have that opportunity to have the outside
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. And you know, I like the places that do. Because I'm more of an outside person anyhow. I like to be outside all the time, and most of my smoking's only done outside. You know, except for my garage is probably the one exception, and a cigar lounge is the exception to that rule. You know, other than that, I don't smoke inside. But. All right, guys, I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
I look forward to smoking a lot of cigars with you guys.
Absolutely.
This is Adam. Adam is one of the people that hangs out here at the cigar shop. We're here with Adam at the cigar shop. Adam's a regular down here. Adam, tell us a little bit about what the cigar shop means to you and your experiences here.
Well, I recently moved up here back in 2019. I purchased a business, and when I was taking the time to look around Ellwood City, see what's there, see what's going on, I found a cigar shop. I've lived down south, down in Florida a lot of time, and there was always cigar shops around, but they were always a good little bit of a distance, so it was always great to have one close, and even better one within a quarter of a mile of where I live. I'm down here quite often. I've made numerous friends down here, have great times down here, and it was really a great experience being able to come up here and have a cigar pretty much any day of the week I want to. They have an outstanding selection. They've added new things. Some things have gone away, new things have come in, and it's always ever changing here. I really give a lot of credit to what Chuck and Tom are doing by really just branching out with the different events they're doing, with the different cigars they're doing, with the different distilleries they've been working with, and it's really come full circle from when I first came in here over the summer in 2019. It's almost like a completely different shop now, and the lounge atmosphere is phenomenal, and I've made really good connections and friends that I probably would have never made had it not been for this cigar shop.
I hear that.
And you know, like you were said in the previous interview, the relationships you make in a cigar shop, whether you're sitting with a plumber or a Fortune 500 company owner, you know, we're all equals. We have a good love for cigars, a good love for good conversation, and it's been a great experience living only a quarter mile away and being here probably way too much than I should. But overall, I've had a great time, and I think everybody should come out and visit the cigar shop Ellwood City. It's hands down, it's a great place to be.
I appreciate it, Adam.
Thanks so much.
And, I'm sure I'll be smoking cigars with you.
Probably
as the
so.
roll along.
Probably so.
Jen, thanks for sharing.
You're good. Yeah.